Just a couple of weeks ago, Crumbs left Dignitas, and now we have CloudNguyen, who is here. Cloud, interesting situation. There's a guy who I know who used to be a support player named Nat Nguyen. Are you familiar with him? And so it's kind of funny because now you've come in. You're like the second. You're like the second level of win.
Oh, yeah, I heard about it. Everyone kept saying, "Are you not Nguyen Smurf? Are you not Nguyen?" And then, yeah, I was just like, "No, I just had a last name." And for people who don't know, like, Nguyen was like an emperor, and then everyone just changed their last name to follow him. Yeah. And that's why there's like a million Vietnamese Nguyens.
Okay. Very good. Well, now we've got that cleared up. Let's get into what's going on. So you are hanging out on Dig now, and it was very funny. Kiwi Kid just sort of talked about all these like issues that you guys are having. So you're kind of rebuilding, and but your background is kind of recent. Can you maybe give us a idea of like what your history is in League of Legends?
Well, I started playing in around season 2, the middle, right after the Lulu patch. And to be honest, I hated the game when I first started playing. I was an MMO guy, and then like the game sense of like having to be level 1 again every time. I was just like, who could play this game? This is stupid. It's outrageous. And then like I just started playing with a bunch of friends. Then eventually I hit level 30, started grinding the ladder. I hit gold 2. Like, yeah, I was a pretty slow learner, but then eventually it just came to me in the mind when I saw a Gambit game. I'm like, what the heck? I could do that. Yeah. I could be a pro at that, but it's taken quite a while, like 2-3 years now, and here I am.
Yeah. So what was the path to pro for you? So you see the Gambit game, you get inspired, you are like around gold or whatever, and suddenly now you're in the LCS. So what filled that in for me?
I just always felt like I could do it, so I just kept grinding games, kept playing, kept trying to get better, watch the Korean, keep up with what's good up to date. And I think that's a lot where my shot calling comes from, because I understand the concepts of the lane swaps and everything. Yeah. So like, I'm not really just some challenger player. I do have a lot of knowledge of what's going on, because I did intensively watch a lot of OGN, and I look to understand the concepts. And I look for patterns, which helps me become a better jungler.
Yeah, it's interesting. I heard about this as well, is that you're like the new guy on the team, also new to the LCS, and yet you're actually doing the shot calling. So what is that experience like? Were you surprised at all by that, or are you just like, yeah, I can do this?
I was like, yeah, I could do this. Like, during the tryouts, I was like screaming at everyone. Yeah. Like, I'm like, do this, but like, no one really had a voice except Kiwi Kid. And especially with 2 Koreans on the team, it's really hard for them to make shot calls, maybe like, because if you call rotations, like we can go through the jungle and that, like I don't think they could say all of that. Right. So like to have a definitive shot caller, I think it really helps the team.
Yeah, where are you from actually? Do you live in the LA area, or have you like flown out here from someplace to live here now?
I'm actually from Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. Okay. And it was actually my first time flying. Really? Just to come to Los Angeles, and I missed my plane. Like from customs, because I forgot you had to go through customs to get through the U.S. border. And so I had to spend the whole night there. We lost like 2 days of scrims before the TSM game. Yeah. And I feel like we should have won that game. Yeah.
So I'm sure you made a great first impression on your team then, right?
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah, a little bit of a struggle right out the gate. But other than that, have things been going okay, you think, with you adapting to the team? I mean, I don't think they've officially announced you as a permanent member of the team yet. So other than, like, I guess, how's tryouts going?
I think for the first 2 weeks I was playing, I was just trying to make the front page of Reddit, trying to make the big Lee Sin plays, but ultimately it was like getting me killed. So now I'm playing in his scrims. The solo queue team fighting is so much different than team fighting in 5s. Like, it just blows my mind how easy. So like when I see that, I'm like, oh, just go for the 80 carry, we can kill him. But like, there's just everyone peeling for him, and it's just really hard. So like, learning the team fighting has probably been my biggest problem getting on the team. But I think it's gotten a lot better.
And then I'm just kind of curious, because again, you mentioned that you had to fly out here and you're doing these tryouts. Has there been any kind of like weird shock to you, or like coming to the LCS studio and seeing all these pros? I've talked to a lot of people. I remember speaking to Sheep when he first entered the LCS, and he just was talking about how strange it was to see like the pros walking down the hallway and that kind of thing. So what's it been like for you just adapting to life out here?
Well, at first it's like surreal because it doesn't feel real. It just feels like a normal day, but you're still meeting all these people. Like, but I've seen them in solo queue and stuff, so I kind of know who they are.
Yeah.
And like I see them on the analyst desk from the LCS.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it does feel really weird the first day, but you do get used to it, like 1-2 weeks. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, anything that you'd like to say to any of the fans out there, or potential fans who might watch this interview, you know, not knowing much about you and having only seen you play in a couple games? Anything you want them to know?
I really like watching Gordon Ramsay shows.
I mean, that's really all you need to know, I think, at the end of the day. I completely, that sums you up as a person. Thanks so much for the interview, and congratulations on competing here in the LCS.
All right, thanks.
Yeah, thanks. For everyone else, you can check out the rest of our coverage. Oh, you want to do shout-outs? We could do this. I'm down.
Shout outs to Ayama, Corsair, Scan, TP Link, Twitch, Intel, Alienware. How many was that? Corsair. And Western Digital. All right.
Yeah, you did it. You nailed it. For everyone else, you can check out the rest of our coverage of all things esports at ongamers.com.